Welcome to the She Scales podcast, where we have got this brand new episode, and today we've got a special guest in the house. Whoop, whoop. I want to welcome you to Maria. Maria is on the Pageant Girl from Instagram. She is a business mentor, a pageant queen, and an all-round showstopper. And I can't wait for you to meet her properly and just to get into this interview. I met Maria in a mastermind last year, and she is a beautiful person, but also really, really inspirational and creating groundbreaking change in her industry. So really, really excited to welcome Maria.
Hello, Sarah. What a beautiful introduction. Thank you.
Thank you. How are you today?
I feel very good. We were just chatting about this, but it's morning my time. So I love that we get to connect no matter where we are in the world. I'll always make time so that we get to chat.
And where are you in the world? Are you in New York?
I'm in Ontario, Canada. So I'm kind of like in the middle of Canada.
Ah, amazing.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. Awesome. So do you want to I gave like a little intro, but do you want to give to the listeners of She Scales a little intro into who you are, what you do, how you help people?
Of course. So I actually started my career in nursing, as most people do. You go to school, you get your job, and then about in my third year of nursing school, I realized I wanted to do more with my life. I really wanted to own that main character energy I knew I had, that I know you teach about to your audience and to your clients. And that led me to finding the world of pageantry. And to sum an 8-year pageant competition journey into a minute, I was very successful right off the bat in placing and winning crowns after not really knowing who I was and not really feeling like I was connected to my purpose or the meaning that I wanted to have in the world. And after a few quick wins that I had gotten, being a local and then a national title holder, I actually won the title of Miss Canada. I started having clients and friends in my area say, "You must know something. You have to help me. Like, how can I pay you to do this?" And that's where my 6-figure pageant coaching empire began, was coaching women in my area on the ins and outs of building a platform, interview, runway, everything in between. But underneath it all, I really found that the main thing I wanted to help women with was understanding and believing in themselves and standing for a cause or a mission that was so much bigger than them. And when they did that, everything else got better. They spoke better, they stood taller, they just had this natural queen energy that they were emitting. And I saw that my clients were doing very well. Not only were they winning crowns on stage, but they were getting opportunities to travel, speak, write books, do podcasts off stage. And so I started coaching in 2019, officially started taking it seriously during the pandemic. And then just in this last year, I've been able to drop down from working full time as a nurse to being a full time pageant coach, and now expanding my horizons to helping women and business owners in and out of pageantry grow their empire outside of the pageant space. So, in a nutshell, that is my story.
That is amazing. And so, because for the listeners, so we have all over the world, but I know pageantry is a lot more known in the US. I know obviously we have representatives, but it's not necessarily where I'm in the UK. It's something that is super familiar. And so, what was it that drew you to the industry? Was it stuff that you see in the media all the time, and you're like, I want to be like on stage, or like the dresses and like the fabulous world of that? How did you, what was the pull initially? How did you come across it?
For sure. And I will say we do have some very spirited UK pageant gals and queens over there. So it is everywhere, but definitely more so in the US and in Asia. But what it actually was for a few years, I would see different girls on social media who I knew going out in their community. One of my friends at the time, she actually won a few of the titles. And I eventually had this thought where when I looked at them posting about different events, community service, they would go to like breakfast together. It just that one time I looked at it differently, and I thought, wait, I could be there with them. Because I realized I was looking at them, envying them, and thinking, no, I can't do that. But when I had this internal shift of, I'm meant for more, there's so much more out there for me, I want to feel beautiful and have fun and meet people, I looked at this opportunity to join a pageant in a completely different way. I saw it as the gateway to becoming my queen self, which is exactly what it did, but it was more of a metaphor at the time. And yeah, it started with just seeing other women going out in their community, doing more with their time. And that's what intrigued me, was this I could be up there, and I saw myself in a position where I could actually win. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the
Mhm.
time, so you were a full-time nurse at the time?
I was a nursing student, and then the following year, it's funny, I never jumped full force into nursing. I always kind of like backed away, or I would work a part-time job. I knew it wasn't something I wanted to lock myself into a full-time job. So I was kind of like stepped away and said I was focusing on my titles, Miss Canada, traveling, but I was in nursing school and then throughout my nursing career as well, competing in different systems around.
Amazing. Whoop, whoop. And
Mhm.
when you think about the journey of that, oh, let me plug the in. When you think about that journey, has it all been success, success, success? Or have there been times where you were like, can I do this? Can I be this person? Because you probably got some of the titles. Was there like a messy middle, or did it all seem to just unfold quite easily?
My mindset has always been when you're already a queen, you're already winning. You don't need a crown. You don't need to do anything else other than keep going and keep shining and reigning. And I will say, I competed in 9 pageants. I've won 5 of them. So, absolutely, I did lose 4 of them. But every single title that I lost, I remember going in and remembering that I've gained so much from the experience. And I've always had a really good sense of self awareness that I've understood why I didn't win. I knew why I wasn't in the top. So I thought to myself, it's not that I'm not worthy or deserving or I can't. I would just tell myself I need a little bit more work. And I actually told myself, and it's very similar to the business mindset I have, if it takes me 10 years, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. I know I'm meant to be a national and international title holder. I know I'm meant to have a massive community. I'm not going to stop just because it didn't work with one title. I have so much more to learn and to gain. And I think that's been the more unique mindset that I bring to the pageant world, because some women are just so crushed and crumbled. And I've never felt that. I've never cried after losing. I've never felt like heartbroken. It was always just, okay, let's redirect our energy. Where are we going to next? Because I knew I was going to win. And by win, I mean like I wanted an international title. I wanted to be a queen who represented Canada and got that international title, because nobody in Canada rarely wins international titles. That was what I was going towards. And I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when. So that really kept me going, was my long-term vision.
Amazing. I love that because the wins are awesome, but in between, you're like, okay, well, this is just a step on the journey of where I'm going anyway, and I'm going there regardless. You're right.
Right?
There's so many people that will get
Mm.
fixed on, the next launch or where they're at right now, and it's quite either a shallow or a short-term vision. But actually, when you can lift up and you've got such clarity on, well, where are you going? If you've got that unbreakable mindset, that queen energy, that main character energy, and you know that you are meant for much bigger things, it's easy to lift yourself out of the here and now. There's things to either learn to do differently, or don't pay that much attention to any single one thing. That is one step along your wider journey. So I love that you brought that up. Yay!
Right? And I'm someone, I always want to win. I want to go to the top. I want to build the biggest business, but it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. And I think releasing the expectation of when it has to happen also really helps, because I totally agree. I see the same thing mirror in the business world as well. And it's about knowing that we're in this for the long run. If the alternative is to give up and to stop completely, which we're not going to do.
Yeah.
So we have to shift our perspective and our focus.
Yeah, and your need for results now. Yeah, that
Mhm.
longevity, that it's coming. I don't need to be attached to the when it's coming. It's coming.
Mhm.
Oh, I love that. And so where was the shift? You started you doing your pageant coaching business, and getting more clients in, helping them with their walk and how they hold themselves and their message that they're bringing to the world. But there's been a few disillusions with you in the industry. I don't mind how much you want to talk about those, but I know you've been shifting into business coaching, um, because of it sounds like a few frustrations that you've had with that industry, and you're just like, do you know what? I'm just going to distance myself from a bit of the drama that's happening and like really go all in on this side. Do you want to talk about that, or are you just like, no, we're good?
Let's go there. I made a post about this today as well because, and I love and I respect the pageant industry so much. And I know I'm someone who's always going to hold it to the highest standard and make the most of it and hold my clients to that standard as well. I know that anybody can run a successful pageant, run a successful business, have success being a queen and a title holder. But I've just found that with my own journey and evolution, I'm just outgrowing some of the things where I don't think most people take it as seriously as they could. Most people like yourself probably never thought about pageants until you and I had connected. So there's this element that it needs to grow and evolve. And what I say, become more business minded. When I think about why I've won, it's because I understand that I have to market and sell myself. I have to provide my value. I have to be consistent. I have to show why I'm the best, not just as a competitor, as a queen, but as a coach. And I've also run my own virtual pageant as well. So I understand different sides to it. And I see where a lot of people take it more as this fun hobby that's nice. And when I talk with women who are entrepreneurs, who are building big brands and businesses, like they just have this different zest for life that they know it's not dependent on a day. And that's what I found, that a lot of women look at pageantry as go, 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 compete. And then whether or not you win or lose, you're kind of done after that. And that's where I see a lot of burnout come. That's where I see a lot of women kind of get to this high peak of their best fitness, their best, network that they build, and then they just stop. And that's confusing to me. I'm like, oh, were you just doing that for show? Was that not real for you? And I've always looked at it as I'm 100% honest and authentic. I'm not doing anything just for show, for the crown. I want to show my entire journey and that it's not just about that one day. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to be the one who doesn't stop. And the women who also carry that same mentality, who want to build a platform of service or a business that they know isn't just going to stop next month when they get tired of it or decide that they're done. It's something that they want to build and work on for many years to come. So that's where I've been experiencing an evolution, I will say. And I know that the pageant world will evolve. I'm just looking to evolve sooner than it does.
Yeah, I love that last point because there's the shift with like who you're working with and clients and the vibe that you want to be around. But also, I know there's been a few changes in the industry that your vision and your values, you're like, I no longer can fully support in the same way that I did because our values and what we see as important or what you don't see as important that you perhaps should see as important. I'm not about the industry there. But you've outgrown that and you're just like, do you know what? If you can't either move with the times, like there either needs to be a keeping up because people want different things. They expect you to be more. There can be no just hiding it away behind closed doors. So at some point, people are going to talk. So, I've been seeing at the time of recording this, which is the end of May, Maria's got some spicy content where she is not just calling out, but calling for the standard to be raised. It's not just like firing shots for the sake of it. It's collectively, the industry can do better. And here's why. Here's the impact of it not doing better. Here's how it's holding itself back and capping people. Like everyone could do better if we collectively all move together in line with better vision, better values. So yeah, I like that you're being the one that is putting themselves out there to say what a lot of people won't say.
Yeah, I get so, I think we always get a little bit nervous and when we're sharing these edgy posts, but then I always get so much positive feedback. And I always think, oh, the internet's going to be divided. They're not going to love this. But I really do see that I'm speaking a lot of what isn't being said. And that's why it gets so much traction. But an example to share is that I'll have clients that are doing these incredible things. They'll be writing books, doing speaking tours, hosting in-person events, raising like thousands and thousands of dollars for charity. And then I see them have to like pull themselves down to try and fit the mold of a title. And I'm like, no, you're doing such bigger things. And that's where I can see the industry can just be bigger and do better for the women who are doing these amazing things because winning a title is not the biggest thing that my clients are doing. And of anything, I can see that if they did win sometimes, it would actually stop their trajectory of growth and being queens and leaders. So that is just an example of what I have seen. But I have fantastic clients, whether they win or lose, they're always winners. And I stand by that. But I love to share these different insights about it that most people probably don't know or see, but being in it for so long, I have a very developed perspective on it.
Yeah, because you've grown the depth of the industry, and you'll see and instinctively know a lot of behind the scenes that the majority won't. So I loved it. You're being the whistleblower there. Because how often do we see with, particular things, or like high level industries or like celebrities, that there can be something that is unspoken for so long, and then there'll be a crashing event that takes loads of people down. And like, if there were more people that spoke out before that, it wouldn't need to be some big crashing event where a whole industry collapses or there's just worldwide drama about this spectacle. Actually, we could just not wait until it gets to a breaking point. And so for people like you who've got the confidence to speak, and put themselves out there, because I get that you might be drawing attention that might not always be positive attention. So like, hats off to you for being the brave one that's like, no, we can do better.
Right? Authenticity, that's what comes to mind.
Yeah. And I loved your other point then about the women who are moving so boldly that actually the thing that they might be seeking, that accolade of the title, might be stopping them because they're moving so big. Like, the achievement, the award that you're going for, that milestone, is smaller than you are. I think this is where your habits, your behavior, your energy, like building daily and being less attached to like the goal, actually will set you up so much more for success, rather than the ladies who are just like, oh, let me win this individual race. Actually, if you become someone that trains in such other different bigger ways, that single one race is less important. So I love that you brought that up.
Yes.
Incredible. What's been like a real highlight in your journey?
Two things I will say, which kind of go hand in hand. One is being like having what I call the pageant queen trifecta of winning a local, a national, and an international title. And they were all very prestigious titles. They were no walk in the park. And you can't see me right now, but I'm 5'2" from Canada. Like, people of my height, people from where I'm at, don't often do these things. I didn't see a lot of examples of women who were achieving this level of success. I had one that I looked up to in my journey, and every time I would think about her, and I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it. And now I get to showcase to other women that doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter how tall you are, what you look like. It's about your heart and the service and the impact that you do and how you carry yourself. So that's in the pageant world. But then in the business side of it, I will say I feel like I won my national or international like title in the business world when I left my full-time nursing job, because that was something actually for about a year. I took a full-time nursing line to support me growing my business so I could invest everything back into growing the business, getting that support. And the minute that I realized that my income was double, if not triple, what a full-time nursing wage was, eventually it took me having to really risk the fear of falling and take that leap and be a full-time business owner when I realized, oh yeah, I can do this. I could have done this for so many more years. I had to trust myself to do that. But, I'm sure that you see it often. I'm surprised at how many people work for years and decades even. I had pageant coaches coming to me who have 30 years of experience saying, how am I able to leave my job when they can't even, make $500 a month? So I'm like, well, I must know something. I must be very good at what I do, but I apply that same passion, that same mindset, and that same business-like mentality into my business as I did with my competitions that I was competing in. So
Oh,
those are two huge things.
I love that. The trifecta, the mindset. And there's so many things. Like when I first came across you and you joined the mastermind, I was like, who is this person? P.S. When you just said that you were 5'2", I feel like I did know that, but I'd forgotten, because you really show up like you've got a solid 5'8" energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thinking about when we're gonna meet each other in September, and I was like, 5'2".
You're gonna have to look down at me, yes.
I'm gonna be 5'7". I haven't decided if I'll be in heels. If I am, I could be 6 foot in heels. So
You should.
yeah, you're like, yes, do that. I'll be like, Maria, where are you? But I mean, shows how much, like I talk about body language for main character energy as well, how you hold yourself, your stance, your self-awareness, your presence. You show up as someone on social media with so much more height. Like, would never, never know that you're like 5'2". So yeah, everybody go check out Maria on socials because her body language, her stance, like you can just see all of those trainings from pageantry carry over so well to business social media content. When we think about like all of the women who have grown up with either like limiting beliefs or like a bad relationship with their body or lack of self-confidence, what you've learned in the pageantry journey and how you show up, the presence that you have, the intentionality that you have, your body language, like each individual turn, each individual step is thought through, and you can see that, and like the power that you have in your movement, even if it's like step, turn, step, your eyes will be locked forward. And like, God, the energy of social media content when someone knows that they look up like great and they hold that power, oh, it's so, so engaging. And like not many people have it. So I think there's like incredible lessons. I never would have thought pageantry into business coaching, but I see your content and I'm like, yes.
I'm going to run a program that's all about how improving your walk and posture is going to help you make more money in your business. Because you
Do
hyped me up about this. I'm like, that just makes the most sense. That should be the next step. And I also want to preface, nobody in my family is an entrepreneur. I did not grow up. Nobody in my family did pageant. So if you're listening to this and you might be thinking, it's so easy to see the success other people have and think they might have been born with it or they might have had other people helping them. And this was true, just innate tenacity and knowing and believing that I was meant for more. So if you're sitting back thinking, well, how do I do this? Like, you really have to pull it out of yourself. You've got to do it for you first and not rely on sheer experience or other people helping you. It's got to come from you, and you can truly do anything.
Yes, 100%. It doesn't matter if there's no one around you who looks like how you want to look or is doing the things that you want to do. That inner feeling of, I'm meant for more. I'm meant for bigger things. I can feel that. Lean into that trust. That self-trust is what will get you places. Yeah, I love that you brought that up. Ooh, bring in this, whether it's the walking program, holding yourself program, especially because social media is going to be more and more video content. So the personal, the presence, the power, the owning who you are, that authenticity, but like really embodying that, we'll see such a difference between people who like own who they are, skyrocket, versus people that like step back or are shy in any way, because I think we're just going to go to more and more video content. Maybe that's my own personal perception, but I think there's going to be more and more videos of the people who can really get behind, like master their body language and really like own their confidence will be the ones that skyrocket.
Yeah, people, the world wants connection. We're craving that authenticity, that connection, that not filtered or faked energy, which can be seen. And it doesn't mean that you don't use filters anymore, but there's a deeper connection to self that I think will be brought out, like you said, over the next few months, few years online.
Yeah. I was reading this morning that even LinkedIn, which has historically been a writing-based content platform, are going to be bringing in more videos. So we'll see more like TikTok style in the news feed. So everyone that was like, oh, I don't need to show my face, I can just do writing. Like, no, that's going to be changing. And so this working on your body language, confidence, and bringing out your whole self forward is just going to become more and more important. It was very important anyway, but now it's a non-negotiable. How many things, like what are some of the lessons that you've brought over from pageantry that now help you out in business or help your clients out? It's a big question.
10 things came to my mind. So, and two that I actually just shared in a membership call the other day, where kind of what I said to here, but it's like no matter what you do, you have to know why you're doing it. You have to do it for you first. And remember that internal knowing of meant for more. But I want to make it a little bit more tangible, I guess, because a couple of months ago, my business was taking off. It was, and it still is, by the way, like it's doing absolutely amazing in ways that I never thought I could, that I worked for 4 or 5 years to make it this way. And then I got to a point where I thought, but is this the way I want to be doing it? Is it really the thing that I want? I have a strong foundation. Is this the empire and the $1 million business I want to build off of? And I had this inkling after my 29th birthday that it was like, Maria, you're meant to help women do something bigger. When I left my nursing job, it was, Maria, you're meant to help women do this. And I didn't fully understand it. And I tried to resist it. And I found that when I would go back to doing things like, here's how you pose, here's how you answer a question, I was just losing the love for it. And so I owed it to myself to really look at, okay, what is this trying to tell me? What does this want for me? And remembering why, as I'm going through this pivot or this shift, that I'm not just doing it for money, for metrics. If anything, it has nothing to do with that. I was doing really well, but it's because there's a deeper purpose in myself I want to fulfill. And if you're not doing things for you first, you're never going to be happy no matter what it is you're doing. That's the first thing. And then the second thing, I always say to, I use this analogy. It's like the queen bee in the hive analogy. It's like the bees, when you think about the bees in the world, like they need to have a queen to follow. And if the queen dies, the bees will go, first of all, they won't know what to do. They won't have the same like colony, the same like hive effect. They're going to have to go find another queen bee. You get to be that queen bee for your community. And this queen bee effect that I've seen is what's helped me go from being a full-time nurse to being a competitor. Like I've had women who were competing against me reach out for coaching. That says something. And I've had women purchase with me in year 1 that are still with me in year 5 who have done my fitness coaching, my pageant coaching, my business coaching. And it's because I don't just look at them as like they're an audience of people who may or may not buy from me. I look at it as like, this is my colony. I am the queen bee. I'm the one who's going to lead them. I have the proper values. I'm a woman of integrity. I am a leader, a strong communicator. Of course, they should follow me. Of course, they should be a part of my hive because I'm the best one to lead them. And when you carry yourself this way and when you build your bee colony, your hive, however you want to call it. I never called it that until a couple of days ago. So it's new for me. But when you do that, your people will follow you. They will stay with you for years to come. It will be, you can change industries or niches, you can raise your prices and people will still be there. But you have to give them a reason, give them that mission and let them be a part of your journey of something bigger. Because if they're not going to follow you, guess what? They're going to go follow someone else. They're going to go follow Sarah. They're going to go follow me, Maria, and or anybody else. So you might as well be the woman that they're going to follow.
Yeah, I love that analogy. It's so much, isn't it? Because yeah, it brings such a great visual to mind of having that queen bee and the organization, the systems. Everybody knows where they are in that colony. But if the leader either disappears, everything else falls to shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's disarray everywhere. The organization goes out the window and everybody else loses that direction. So either has to go find somewhere else or is just in a hot mess. And so, yeah, I love that analogy.
Yeah. So
Keeping everything in order and keeping everyone inspired. Everyone knows where they are, with purpose, their direction, their place in this world, their meaning. There's so much in there. Oh,
yeah. Practically build a community and genuinely care about the people that are there and that want to be there. And even you might think about yourself, like I love to have people I look up to. And I'll notice when this is like back in the day when I would follow different YouTubers that would stop their channel, I would feel like I would be sad. I'm like, well, who am I going to go follow now? Like, I love this person's content, even though I'd never engaged with them, never really purchased from them, but I loved being present and seeing them show up. So it's, asking for yourself, how can you lead others? How can you build that community like feel? Are you building that community like feel where you care about the people, even if you don't see them there yet? Because it might take some time to see them, but they are there. They are following you. They do see you and they want to see you keep showing up and in your power and leading yourself and leading them.
100%. And you can see and feel the effects of this. Like when you're so consistent in the brand that you're building, the business that you're building, because you've got that long-term vision in mind anyway. So what you do on a day-to-day isn't a big deal because you do the habits. It's like, oh, of course I'm going to post on social media. Of course I'm going to show up on my stories. Of course I'm going to go serve my clients. But if there's a day, for whatever reason, you don't, so like, let's say I'm catching a flight and there's been a long time where I haven't posted and my stories have run out, I'll get people in my DMs being like, is everything okay, Sarah? Like, we haven't heard from you today. Because like that routine is so present in other people's lives. They're used to me showing up at that certain time. And so whenever you break that, not that I break it for a long time, but you could absolutely build that community who is like, it's part of their day to day is seeing you do your thing. It'll be like, oh, what's Sarah up to today?
Right? People get bought into you and they want to know what's going on. And it's a strong connection that doesn't just, it can't go away.
Yeah, building that long brand, that community that even if you change direction, I've pivoted in my own business and I thought that it would have a really big impact and that I would lose a load of followers who weren't part of the new direction. And actually that didn't happen at all because I've been so consistent in showing up that people were bought into me as a person rather than the service that I offered. So expecting, a huge drop off, if anything, more followers came on board. My engagement rate was still really high, even though I was offering something completely different. So if anyone's listening to this being like, oh, I'm on the edge of a pivot, no, because if you've been consistent in showing up, growing your brand, getting people to know who you are, not just what you do, you can change direction any number of times. You can bring out new offers. You could launch a products-based business tomorrow. Your community are bought into you. And once people are loyal, people are always looking for that tribe to be part of that community. And even as I would say I'm a queen bee as well, being the queen bee will still be part of her own communities. So having that network around you, that inspiration. So yeah, I love that. Creating the tribe that makes people feel welcome, but also inspired. Ooh, juicy. And so what's coming up for Maria in this next year? And we've got an exciting chapter and you're going through this change, this pivot. What now is lighting your fire?
Okay, two big things. One is that I'm getting married in 37 days, Sarah. So a lot of what I'm doing now is really focusing on, okay, I'm going to be a wife and hopefully a mother soon, and really looking at how do I want to show up and be the leader and lead my colony of bees and run my business in this new era of life. So I've been really taking time to focus on what does that long-term vision and goal look like, and how can I still honor the fact that I have the time, I have the energy, but also realizing that things will shift in the future as these things start to happen. So very excited planning the dream wedding that we've got going on.
Oh my God, I can't wait for this.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited for it. So 37 days. And then shortly after that, just about a month after that, I'm running the first Queen of Your Life retreat. And I know that you run retreats as well, but this will be my first time running a 3-day retreat. I've done different in-person workshops and events and things like that, but we are hosting our first in-person immersion event for women who want to build the confidence, the plan, the vision of what it means to be the queen and identify who they are, their values outside of what the world or society or their job or family has told them to be. So that's coming this August. We have 6 women already registered. So again, this just goes to show that no matter what you do, if it's online or in person, people will follow you. People love to invest in themselves and they love to elevate themselves. So I'm very stoked for that. And then all the other things that will come along with it that are still in the creation process. But that is the number one thing that I'm focused on.
Oh, I can't wait to see all of this play out on social media. So you've got a super
Mhm.
exciting summer lined up with
Mhm.
the ultimate, like, Queen of Your Life event. Are you going to be in Canada for the wedding?
Yes, the event, the retreat, the rehearsal, it's all going to be like kind of local to my area, but it's going to be
Amazing.
amazing and glamorous. It's going to show everybody that no matter where you come from, no matter where you're at, you could still embody being a queen. And I've been talking about this for years. My program, Queen of Your Life, which teaches about the mindset, identity, and energy of being the queen yourself, who creates the goals and plan and destiny she wants. I've been saying for years, I've been running since 2022 and saying, should we do a retreat? And everyone's like, yes, but I put it off. And I said, this year, we're not putting it off. We are doing it. And I've loved the response from it.
Oh, so exciting.
Mhm.
Is that July, that one? Or July, August?
August 16th to 18th. August
Amazing.
16th to 18th. For those who are listening and are like, I've never been to Canada. I want to go to the Queen of Your Life retreat. Send me a message. We can get you in there.
That sounds like an incredible 3-day experience. Queen of
Mhm.
your life. Oh, and
Mhm.
I'll drop underneath the links so that you can go find Maria. If you're interested to go to the retreat, you can absolutely sign up there. Woo woo!
Mhm.
This has been incredible, Maria. Thank you so, so much.
I have loved it. You are a powerhouse, Sarah. I always love getting my UK energy from you, but then also your Bali energy, which you just naturally bring. And the She Scales podcast, so important for women to realize like we can do anything. We've been told for many years we can't, we're not good enough, but I just want to be an example and let Sarah, you be an example too, that women can do anything. You can scale any business, any mission, any purpose that you desire. You just have to decide and then go do it.
100%. I love that you brought that up. And I want to finish on the note of I never even would have met Maria potentially because we weren't connected on social media. I don't even think I'd found your profile before you joined the mastermind. And so let this be your lesson to get yourself into spaces that stretch you, because when you do, and the people that you meet who then become your circle, like I'm someone similar to you. I wasn't born into entrepreneurs. I didn't have that circle around me when I started. And so it's very much been something that I've really sought to build for peace of mind, for inspiration, for like my friendships who like get it. And so
Mhm.
listen, as you're listening to this, get yourself into spaces that not just are going to stretch you, inspire you, and educate you, but that people who you want to be surrounded by, who will share the same qualities and interests as you, they will be in those spaces. Me and Maria never would have met if it wasn't for the
Mhm.
mastermind. And now I get to see her on social media. Her content is amazing. And that's someone that I can look at and be like, yeah.
Right? More evidence that it's possible. Your network is your net worth. And we get to meet in September, which I'm so excited
Oh my
for.
God. I'm so, so freaking excited for this. We're going to meet in person. There'll be a whole lot of Queen energy coming out of that event in September. That
Oh
is
my
going to
gosh,
be
yeah.
insane. Social media are
Mhm.
just going to like implode with the energy.
Mhm.
Well, I'm so, so excited to meet you in person. So you got a super exciting summer. You've got wedding, retreat, and then we've got Florida.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Amazing. Well, thank you so,
Mhm.
so much for sharing your time with us and some inspirational stuff and your stories also for our listeners. Is there anything like parting tips? I know we've covered a few, but anything that you would like to leave with the community?
Yeah, if you are listening to this podcast, you should be investing in yourself. Invest in yourself, invest in your vision, in your business. It's going to feel like a stretch because stretching is uncomfortable. You've got to meet that edge if you want to grow. So you should already be investing in yourself and working with Sarah, getting in your main character energy if you are not already. So I want to leave them with that. But thank you, Sarah. I love and adore you. Love
Okay.
this community that you've built and keep going.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your time today. I'll drop all the links underneath so that you can go connect with Maria on social media. She's an absolute queen, of course. You can get all the inspiration from energy to some banging clothes. I messaged Maria
Mhm.
today. I now look at dresses and I'm like, oh, that's a Maria dress. Thank you so much for your
Mhm.
time. And wrapping up this episode, I shall see you guys next week for another juicy episode. Thank you, Maria.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.